Hey everybody, this is CC10 and welcome to the unveiling of my brand new computer. I've been talking about this for a while now and I finally got it all finished. Got all my parts and I'll put it together and it's all working. So I'm going to show you guys the parts really fast, and then after that I'll boot it up and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Alright guys, let's take a look at the components that I put in the computer. Here we have the box for the Asus Solana 1000R. I've previously reviewed this and you guys can see it out here. Obviously I'll get to that later. Let's take a look at the other parts that I put in it so far. We'll just go from the top left. Not the most important part, but it's just there for convenience. This is the Razer Abyssus mouse. I got a nice coupon deal with Newegg for buying my power supply. It's very nice. It's a laser mouse, and it's very, very, very sensitive, but you can tone it down, and quality is fantastic. It's got a matte finish, so it doesn't track fingerprints too bad. This is the EVGA GTX 450. Pretty much, I was going to buy a GTX 460, but I was given this. Basically, one of my family members just used it, didn't really need it anymore, and had it available. They were just going to kind of throw it away, so they gave it to me, and I'll use it for the time being until I can get my GTX 460. Here is the Microsoft Sidewinder X4 gaming keyboard. This is a very, very nice keyboard. Again, I got a coupon deal for this at Newegg. It's got 18 macro buttons. It's got a calculator, like a dedicated calculator button. Backlight. It's obviously full QWERTY. It's got like little nubs on the W key. It's a very nice keyboard. Very affordable. If you're looking for a gaming keyboard, that's probably the best deal you can get. This is OCZ mouse mat. Pretty much, I was having a hard time with my mouse getting it to track, so I just bought the cheapest laser mouse pad I could find on Newegg. It happened to be that one, and it's kind of big. This is the Corsair HX 650 watt power supply. Very, very reliable, very nice power supply. I've had no problems with it, and it's powering my rig right now. And it might be a little underpowered for what I want to do with it in the future, but for now I wanted something solid. And eventually, when I do upgrade, I will stay with Corsair because I'm very happy with the quality. This is my fan controller. It's a Sunbeam Tech Rio Smart 6 fan controller. Obviously, it has 6 channels. You can put 6 fans in there and control them. You can actually daisy chain more because it has capacity of 30 watts per channel, which is really nice. Here's the core of it all, no pun intended. The Intel i5-2500K processor. Amazing processor. I haven't really got to put it through its paces yet, but I mean it's not DOA, so very happy with it, and I will be looking to overclock in the future for sure. This is upside down. This is the Crucial, I believe this is the C300 solid state drive. It's 64 gigabyte capacity. Very high read speeds, not so great write speeds, but again, I'm using this for a boot drive pretty much, so read speeds are more important than write. Very nice. I got this on a shell shocker at Newegg for really, really cheap. Same thing with this. This is my RAM. It is a G-Skill Ripjaws X 1600 megahertz RAM. The timings are 99924, 8 gigabytes worth, 2 sticks. Very, very nice RAM, and it's got really nice heat sinks that definitely keep it cool. They look kind of cool. They match the theme. Again, not the primary reason I purchased them, but very highly rated on Newegg. I recommend everything that I've used. I would recommend, including this. This is the BioStar. What is this? The TP67E Extreme Edition P67 motherboard. Very, very nice, appreciated motherboard. It's a little bit cheaper than the Asuses you can get. It's got some features that you wouldn't expect for the price. It's got power reset buttons on the actual board itself. It's got temperature sensing. It's got an error. It's got a heads-up display. It's got 2 7-segment displays that display the temperature of the CPU, and it also tells you if there's an error. It tells you a boot code or an error code. You can look in the manual. It can tell you what's wrong. It's got 2 PCI Express 2.0 times 16 slots. If you SLI or Crossfire, they go to times 8. Supports 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's the 1155 processor board, obviously, and it's a very nice motherboard. It also has some. It has 2 6 gigabit per second SATA. Has 3 internal 3 gigabit per second SATA, and it converted one of those to an external SATA. So Overall, it's a very nice motherboard. It's on the low end of the spectrum for the P67s, and I'm very happy with it. So now that I've showed you guys the parts, let's take a look at the inside of the computer. Alright, so now that you've seen the parts, let's take a look at the computer itself. I would have turned it on for you guys, but I think I miswired my power switch, so I'm going to have to double check that. But as you can see, it's on. There's a power and reset switch on the actual motherboard itself, which is really handy, and I'll get into that later. But as you can see, it's all nice and lit up. The side 230mm fan looks very nice, and I actually installed an extra fan in the bottom. I didn't have that in the boxes that I showed you because I just tossed it after I filled out the mail-in rebate. So let me open this up for you guys, and we'll take a look inside. Alright, so I've turned on the fan, so hopefully you guys can kind of see a little bit better. But if not, I'm sorry. So, the door comes off with 2 thumb screws, as I said. Another thing to mention, I've got the Razer logo sticker on the side. That's for my Razer Abyssus mouse that I ordered. I got a coupon for this. I wasn't planning on ordering something nice for my mouse, but, you know, whatever. And then as I showed you guys, I have, in the boxes part, I do have a Microsoft X4 Sidewinder keyboard. It's very nice. It's backlit keys. It has macro buttons and everything. It's very, very nice. So let's take a look on the inside here. We've got the i5-25K processor by Intel. It's stock clocked at 3.3, idles at 1.6, and turbo at 3.7. And I'm planning on overclocking that in the future, but I'll get into that later. Next to it, we have 8 GB of G-Skill Ripjaws X 1600 MHz RAM. There's 2 DIMMs, each are 4 GB. They're clocked at 1333 right now because I don't have any access, or I don't want to do any overclocking until I get Windows running on this thing. But the board natively supports up to like 2200 MHz with overclocking. Over here we've got the phase button, or the phase LEDs that tells you how much power it's drawing, I believe. A lot of people had trouble with it. Northbridge heatsink. Down here is the GTS 450. As I mentioned, this is a card that I was given. One of my relatives bought it and just kind of upgraded it and didn't need it anymore, so I'm using it until I can purchase my graphics card. We got the 120mm fan in the back here. Again, there's the fan that I installed. This is the Corsair HX 650 watt power supply. It's semi-modular. The only leads that are hardwired in are the motherboard and the 8-pin power, and everything else is modular, and really, I mean, you need those, so there's no point in making those modular. I'll go ahead and show you guys the drives real quick. Up the top, this is just a no-name CD-DVD burner. It's really not that important. Down here, let me get some light over here. Hopefully that's a little bit better. There we go. It's definitely hidden in here, but right here I have the Crucial C300, I believe. It is a 64 GB solid-state hard drive. It's SATA 6 compatible. It has very high read speeds rather, but you know, just average write speeds. But the fact that I'm going to be reading most of the stuff off here, it's going to have my operating system and any games that I want to play and any utilities that I use very often. I'm going to keep it in there. I haven't Linux installed on this, as I mentioned, and I've gotten like sub 15 second boot times with that thing, so it's very nice. And then down here, this is again, it's just a no-name 320 GB hard drive that my dad is lending me for the moment. So pretty much that's it, guys. That's the inside of the case. It's very, very nice. It's extremely quiet, as you guys can tell. I mean, you can take a listen. I'll stop talking, but it's super quiet. So I think the loudest fan is this guy here, or maybe the 120, but everything's very quiet. It stays really cool inside. Ambient temperatures, at least according to the BIOS, are like 30. And then the processor, according to the BIOS, is about 48 to 50, but I've been told that the BIOS is a little off, especially with this kind of motherboard. The P67 motherboards, for some reason, are a little off. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this nice little feature. Let me see if I can figure out how to lower my tripod a little bit. There we go. Down here there's a 7-segment display. I'm going to zoom in on it. There you go. It says 33 right now, and hopefully it'll focus. 32. This is actually the temperature reading for the processor according to the board, and this is in hex. So 32 is approximately 40. No. It's approximately 45 to 50 degrees Celsius, which is not too bad. Again, that's in hex. And yeah, I mean, that's about all I really wanted to show you guys. Let me pop off the back and you can see the wiring and the cable management that I did. It's not that impressive, but you know, you might want to see that. Alright, so here's the back side. Let me pull off the thumb screws in the back and I'll show you guys the wiring. I'm pretty proud of this for my first computer. It's not the best wiring job ever, but it's pretty neat. It's kind of tight though. There we go. See, there's the cables. This worked out really well over here. This was kind of a mess just because all the cables are weird lengths and the modular cables are kind of a pain to work with, but everything fits. The back plate does go on with a little bit of effort and it doesn't bulge or anything. So there you go, guys. That was my computer. I've got a couple updates that I'd like to do. First off, I'm going to get a terabyte hard drive. I'm going to get a Samsung F3 spin point, which has very, very good read-write times, very reliable. I'm just going to use one for now. I mean, a terabyte is plenty of space. I may purchase another down the line and set up a RAID 1 just for redundancy's sake. I don't like losing my data. I'm also going to get a GTX 460. I have an MSI picked out. It's the Talon Nighthawk or Talon Attack. I don't know the exact thing, but it's the special edition of the Hawk 460, which has very good overclocking potential. I'm also going to get a Zalman CPU cooler. I'm looking at the 9700 LED. It's the, I don't know what the actual model number is, but it's a copper heatsink, and it's a really cool design. I will put a annotation that tells you guys what the model number is if you're interested in that. And then other than that, besides getting Windows on this thing, I mean, that's all my plans are for it at the moment. Eventually I'd like to SLI the 460s, but that's not a primary concern at this point. Probably happen closer to when Skyrim comes out, because I did pre-order that. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much. And I'll see you guys in a few days with a packages and pickups video. So see you guys then.